let's move to Cape Coast, because President Akufo-Addo this week has not enjoyed friendship from people of the central region. His comments denying that he or his party ever promised to build a harbour in the region has infuriated the youth who had hoped that for the first time something significant was going to happen that could change the fortunes of the people there. Well, they got an apology which they say is unwanted. Let's get to understand how crucial the construction of a harbour there would really mean to them. In the studio with me is Abeku Adams. He's a youth from the central region, and he's part of the region's youth who led the campaign to demand the construction of the harbour and other infrastructure to improve the economy of the central region. How are you, Abeku?
I'm good, Aisha.
Good to see you again. So tell us about, how this whole thing started.
Oh, well, it started from around 2011 when a number of young people in Cape Coast realized that the city does not have a voice speaking for its development and on the issues that are confronting the people of Cape Coast. So we had a series of meetings, and there were a series of programs that were rolled out trying to have self-initiatives that will help Cape Coast. Then it got to a point that it became very critical to engage central government. So in 2016, when the election was about being organized, we said, oh, this is time to hit hard and get the attention that the city deserves. So we had no airport, no vote demonstration, which was massively participated by the people of Cape Coast, North and South constituencies within the whole metropolis. And 2020, when the government was about launching its manifesto for the second bid, the party categorically accepted that we had a good case for asking for the airport for Cape Coast. And they agreed to give us airport and harbour at the same time. And I must emphasize that Cape Coast is the regional capital of Central Region. So we use Cape Coast to represent the whole of Central Region. So whatever we are asking for is for the good of Central Region. The region is sinking into abject poverty. And I live within that context. I experience it and I know what is happening. So that was the genesis of the whole discourse that we have today.
Okay, but how much of importance, or how important is the construction of this particular harbour you talk about to the region?
You understand, commerce has been the central fulcrum of development all through human civilization. And we are asking for this because these two are central to commercial activities. And Cape Coast history is tied strongly to international commerce. So it is the genesis of Cape Coast itself. It is through commerce. And the airport and the harbour are very central. They're going to open up Cape Coast for international commerce, and they're going to create a lot of employment for us. Then again, the highway from Accra to Takoradi through Cape Coast is an international highway that other landlocked African countries are using. So we need it to be expanded. We need dual carriage road, at least 3 on each side. And we think that getting an airport or harbour makes it imperative for central government to prioritize that part of our city for us. Because it's going to open up a whole stretch of Central Region from Kaswa through Ekumfi to Cape Coast. So it's very critical to us as people of the region.
But the president explained to you why you can't have the harbour anymore, and he explains, and this is exactly what the president says. He says, let me confess, I made a mistake on the Cape Coast matter. Even with the mistake, we have to have a rethink. We cannot have a harbour at Takoradi, Elmina, and have another one at Cape Coast. Isn't this genuine?
That's a moot excuse or argument, because we have an international harbour in Takoradi. They went ahead to have a fishing harbour in Takoradi.
Okay.
They have about 2 of them, major one and a small one. Then again, we have Tama Harbour, which is international harbour, and we have Jamestown fishing harbour ongoing. So you can have 2 harbours at the same time, and the distance between Cape Coast and Takoradi is vast. And you're not dealing with distance here. You're dealing with volume, increasing the volume of trade Ghana has with the outside world. So we should look at it beyond Cape Coast asking for it. We should look at it within the context of Ghana's development, trying to expand trade. And that has been the concern of many, many nations around the world from Stone Age time to now. Increased trade volume. And if you go to the Caribbean island, that's when you see the closeness of harbours to each other. It's all about maximizing the profit that trade will come with. And Cape Coast is well positioned to be able to benefit from such a project. Then again, if the people of Cape Coast are asking for harbour, and central government is the chief spender of the state, nothing stops the government to have engaged us initially on these reasonable terms. Let's discuss it. You don't play on it to gain vote in the region, then come back again and take a unilateral decision that, oh, after all, it is not viable, it's not reasonable to have it. That's a slap in the face. You understand?
So is it the harbour that you are not going to have that bothers you, or it's the U-turn that the president made that is your problem?
It's a contradiction, the degree of dishonesty of government, and that lack of intentionality in moving the nation forward. Because it seems like it's not in their scheme of plan. Yet they went ahead to subscribe to it prior to 2020 election, and I don't want to take a U-turn. Okay. Yes, not having the harbour itself is a great concern to the people of Cape Coast and Central region. So, and that's why I had to travel this dawn to come to Accra just for this encounter. It is very, very much important, and the whole posture of government around it is disappointing to the people of Cape Coast.
No, of course, but as it stands now, it doesn't look like a project that will enjoy the attention of government, because the president has told you point blank it's something that we should rethink, because we can't have one in Elmina, one in two in those areas, and then still have another one in Cape Coast. What do you intend to do about that?
That's a reasonable doubt you have, because the government has proven itself to be not a man of, or the people have not proven themselves to be people of their word. Then again, yes, we are asking for harbour. The initial stage would have been to discuss with that, what are we conceptualizing as harbour? Is it an international trade harbour or a fishing harbour? Now, let's distinguish London side and fishing harbour from each other. London side is just a mere opening on the beach for the people to land and do their commercial activities. If you come to Central region right now, from Anamabo up to Elmina, the whole stretch of the beach has been destroyed by sea defense they are doing. And they didn't factor the people's economic livelihood into the whole project. So they started dropping rocks on the beach, interrupting the normal economic activities of the fishermen, where their canoes were landing, were all destroyed. It is now that they've realized that they should have factored it into their whole scheme and created a space. If you come to Cape Coast, the fishermen had to protest because they wanted to close around the castle where they land. They wanted to close it with the rocks. They had to protest. Then it forced them to jump to the other side of the castle to continue. How do you develop a country like that without interacting with the people? In fact, our Cape Coast of mine here, I'm well informed, wasn't even aware formally about the project when it was about commencing. And that's a disconnection with the people that we of Cape Coast are aggrieved about. We need the airport, we need the harbour. Let's come forward and let's discuss. Are you ready to build us a fishing harbour, a real fishing harbour? We're not talking about London site like what we have in Elmina. What you have in Elmina is not a fishing harbour. We know what Ghana Port and Harbours Authorities have. The description of fishing harbour is on our website. It is clear. It's a whole ecosystem of economic re-engineering. And our lagoon, First Lagoon, is an excellent facility for that project. 2016, Imani Ghana did a whole investigation or research, and they came out that even at the time that they were doing their research, if that lagoon was utilized as a fishing harbour, it could rake in 14.4 million annually for government. Why are we sitting down and Chinese companies were interested in financing it if government had shown interest? We need people to show interest in Cape Coast. We need a voice. We need central government to be very much interested in Cape Coast development. So
what's next for you? Because definitely this request has been shut down by government.
We are very democratic people. Politics, the history of politics in Ghana started in Gold Coast, Cape Coast. So we understand, we are informed by the history of this country and the politics of it. And we are going to resort to democratic means of getting either this government or whichever government that comes to pay particular attention to Cape Coast and Central region.
Which is?
And so next month we are having a second phase of the demonstration, a massive one across Cape Coast, and it's going to go on record in the history of this country, because we have been taken for granted. Cape Coast has been taken for granted by politicians, both NDC and MPP, they have taken us for granted and will not let it go this time around.
They've taken you for granted?
Yeah.
Are you saying that there hasn't been any major development in Cape Coast, over a period of time?
Thank you for qualifying it major. If you had only left it with the development, that would have left me hanging. There has not been any major development in Cape Coast. Major in the sense that a development that directly impacts a large chunk of Cape Coast life, that revolutionized, that create rippling economic effect on the people. It has never happened there. Okay. The only development we have in Cape Coast is the market they built. And I tell you, the market itself, the distribution itself was an issue in Cape Coast. The politicians scrambled for it to the detriment of the so-called ordinary Ghanaians who needed them most. So it's a whole complex situation. Cape Coast is lacking behind, big time. Yeah.
I'm grateful for your time. Abeku Adams is a youth in Central Region concerned about the construction of harbour in Cape Coast. You recall what the president said this week, making it almost feel like a U-turn from what they promised in their manifesto. Well, but the president has apologized. But the youth say they do not accept this apology and that they will go all out to demand that government fulfills this promise.